Big news! Boost Mobile is now sending experts nationwide to deliver and set up customers' new phones at home or work.
Wait, we're going on tour?
Not a tour. We're delivering and setting up customers' phones so it's easier to upgrade.
Let's get in the tour bus and hit the road.
No, not a tour bus. It's a regular car we use to deliver and set up customers' phones at home or work.
Are you a groupie on this tour?
We deliver and set up phones. It's not a tour.
Oh, you're definitely a groupie.
Introducing Store to Door. Switch and get a new device with expert setup and delivery wherever you're at.
Delivery available for select devices purchased at boostmobile.com.
Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of The Smart 7 is brought to you by Sainsbury's, where you can save big on festive favourites with Nectar prices. With Christmas just around the corner, it's more important than ever to find value for money on your festive shop. And if you want to be the host or hostess with the mostess, you need Christmas magic from Sainsbury's. That means great discounts to make your festive season truly magical. For example, this week you can get 3 for 2 on all Sainsbury's party food with Nectar prices, including taste the difference treats like 8 mini Wagyu beef cheeseburgers, 8 crispy chicken bayo buns, or 12 crispy mushroom tartlets. You can shop in-store or online and save big on festive favourites this Christmas with Nectar prices at Sainsbury's. That's good food for all of us. This offer's for 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of December, 3 for 2 on all Sainsbury's party food, cheapest product free. Nectar required, available in-store and online, excluding locals. Delivery fees may apply and subject to availability. 7 things you don't really need to know, but probably should. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Sunday 7.
I'm Ciara Revens, in for Jamie East this week, and on today's episode of the award-winning Sunday 7, we catch up on NASA's new boss, find out why you might be heading to the printer to get a snack, and get good news for those who are hard of hearing. Plus, Will Guyatt, the Smart 7's resident tech guru, has some Christmas gift recommendations for the tech fan in your life. If you're enjoying our episodes, please do like and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We're here 7 days a week at 7 a.m. with the 7 biggest stories on the Smart 7 in association with Metro. Before we get started, though, it was on this day in 1937 that Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs hit cinemas, the first commercially successful animated film. It took Disney animators 2 years to make and cost what was at the time the astronomical sum of $1.5 million. That would be $33 million today, and Walt Disney had to mortgage his house to pay for the production. Fortunately, it was a huge success and set the stage for Disney's ongoing success. This week saw America's space agency NASA finally get a new boss. Jared Isaacman is a former pilot, a Fintech billionaire, and the first non-professional astronaut to complete a spacewalk. So he's got quite the set of accomplishments, which you would think make him a natural choice for Donald Trump. However, Isaacman was originally proposed by Elon Musk, who seems to go in and out of favour with the US president. So Isaacman has seen his nomination approved, dropped, and then resurrected before he was finally confirmed this week. He's got a long to-do list, the first of which is getting America back to the moon with a proper manned moon landing before the Chinese. He spoke at his Senate confirmation hearing about the need for speed.
This is not the time for delay, but a time for action. Because if we fall behind, if we make a mistake, we may never catch up. And the consequences could shift the balance of power here on Earth.
He was confirmed by a comfortable majority and has a strong mandate to accelerate America's push for dominance in space. He spoke to CBS News about the challenging timeline the president has set and was sounding confident.
We're just months away from sending American astronauts around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century. We're going to do everything we can to pull in those timelines so when American astronauts do return to the moon under President Trump's term, we've already got infrastructure there. We're already working on building our lunar base. And at the same time, the national space policy calls for us to be making investments in next generation propulsion, building nuclear spaceships. So President Trump is already setting up for the next giant leap as we look beyond the moon to Mars and beyond.
This week saw a first potential launch window for the next phase of the Artemis mission, which is due to do a complete orbit of the moon. And NASA has Artemis crew preparing for life on the lunar surface. There's been plenty of development work going on, particularly when it comes to landing on the moon. And NASA engineers have been developing and testing systems in a vacuum chamber at their research centre. Ashley Korzun is the senior tech lead for Retropropulsion and Plume surface interaction at the Langley Research Centre, where they've been simulating moon landings to see what will happen when the new high-powered rockets touch down and take off.
We want to understand how a crater forms underneath the vehicle, and as well as what we call ejecta. So where does all of the lunar regolith that we've moved with that rocket engine, where does it go? Does it hit our vehicle? Does it hit other assets that are near us, payloads? How does that impact science? How do we plan what we do on the surface? All those types of things are what data from this test will help inform.
This year saw another astronaut celebrating British spaceman Tim Peake, marking a decade since he first set foot in the International Space Station. He spoke to BBC Breakfast.
10 years ago today, I launched into space, and when we finally got there, that was what I was looking down at, the most spectacular view you can imagine. It was a year-long selection process the European Space Agency ran, and it was quite demanding, obviously, at times, but I just took every step one step at a time and was so happy to get through.
It's time to catch up on the latest tech and maybe even get some last minute gift ideas for the tech fan in your house. So let's cross live to probably not the North Pole and the Smart 7's tech guru, Will Guyatt. Well, I guess it's time to say Happy Christmas. But before we get into this week's big tech stories, what are your recommendations for the last minute shopper?
Ho, ho, ho! Happy Christmas indeed! Well, it's super hard to make recommendations like this because there's so many different ways and places we could go. USB power banks still remain popular as we all wrestle with the battery life on our smart devices being a bit rubbish in 2025, and wireless headphones like Apple's AirPods and JBL's cheaper Tor 1 model are selling in big numbers this year too. Meta's AI glasses in association with Oakley and Ray-Ban are doing good numbers if you can get over the fact that Zook's company sucks up a load of your data. I do love mine though, and the AI assistant in my life now has the voice of John Cena.
And if you had to pick a game or games that are worth popping under the tree?
The Nintendo Switch 2 seems to be a big seller this year, despite the reality that other than Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metroid 4, the software lineup hasn't exactly been stellar so far, but it looks much stronger in the year ahead. And there's actually some tremendous deals out there for Sony's PlayStation 5 and Microsoft's Xbox consoles, because if I was a betting man, we're probably going to get the first concrete details about their successors in the next year. That said though, if I was buying anything for gamers this year, I'd be treating them to a voucher for their respective gaming platform, which you can still pick up online or get them from your local supermarket, because then they can buy what they want. If I was recommending anything games-wise this year, two big ones are Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a Japanese-style role-playing game that literally picked up the most awards ever in a single year at all the major gaming awards like the Golden Joysticks and the Game Awards. And at the other end of the spectrum is a retro-style platform game adaptation of the 1992 film Terminator 2, and it's called Terminator 2D No Fate. It's a wonderful tribute to one of the greatest movies of all time, done in the 16-bit Mega Drive SNES or Amiga style of the day, and it's great.
Away from the cheerful world of Christmas, this week has seen some worrying signs in the world of tech. What happened to the big, beautiful AI tech deal the UK had lined up with the US?
We covered this when it was announced in September when Donald Trump came to the UK for an unprecedented second state visit. Our country laid on all the pageantry, rolled out the red carpet, and the government made great play of an apparent £31 billion tech prosperity deal. Now, I reckon they might have used some Guyatt maths to get to that huge number, but there was still some pretty heavy investment in the UK, promised by US businesses including Microsoft, Nvidia and Google, but it's been shelved. All £31 billion of it.
Is it dead, or is it just resting until Donald changes his mind?
It's hard to tell, but one of the reasons it's currently on ice is because the UK is refusing to water down some of our food laws, which both protect us from super-roided meat and low welfare standards, and also keep our farmers in work because it stops the country being flooded with food that's cheaper, because many independent experts question whether it's as good for you. The US has confirmed it's also pushing the UK to drop trade barriers in other areas too, including a digital services tax, which is a 2% tax that's been effective since 2020. And this was created to ensure that providers of search engines, social media platforms and online marketplaces pay UK taxes on their services to reflect that they make money from user-related activity here in the UK. And importantly, this tax is levied on profits before companies do completely legal accounting moves to reduce their UK tax burden. But as with most things Trump tariff related, it feels like he makes this stuff up on the fly while he's on the bog.
President Trump is also on the warpath about American tech companies as they face big law in Europe, isn't he?
Been a mega spicy year for big tech versus big law on the continent, as the EU has been slapping the hell out of US giants like Google and Meta as the Digital Markets Act bites. We've seen billions of euro of fines upheld, with both Google and Meta being accused of keeping themselves ahead of competition by promoting their services over those of others and being fined heavily for it.
What's he threatening to do?
Trump has said that if the EU continues to keep fining US tech businesses, he's going to do the same to them, the most recognisable of which is Spotify. Donald is channeling his best Tony Soprano cosplay by attempting to shake down Europe to roll back on regulatory framework. Now, of course, Trump's representatives say the goal is to force a re-evaluation of policies that could stifle tech innovation on both sides of the Atlantic, but as fans of Boyzone will recall, it's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away.
And finally, with Australia's social media ban for teens in effect, what are the UK government doing to help protect kids?
It's going to ban so-called nudification apps as a way of tackling misogyny on the internet. And these new laws are part of a wider strategy to halve growing violence against women and girls. It's also going to be illegal to supply and make AI tools which let users edit images to seemingly remove someone's clothes. And the new offences build on existing rules around sexually explicit deepfakes and intimate image abuse like revenge porn. It was previously suggested the government was going to force tech companies by law to stop children being able to view, share or create nudes on their devices by hardware interventions. But that doesn't appear to be happening right now.
Still to come on the Sunday 7, in association with Metro, your next treat could be from a lab, and Elon Musk works miracles. Normally, if you're feeling peckish in the office, you'll head for the vending machine. But in the future, you could instead be making your way to a 3D printer. Italian scientists have been busy in their labs working on printing snacks and treats using lab-grown plant cells combined with fruit residues into material that a specialised 3D printer could turn into pastries that have high nutritional value. Silvia Massa is the head of the Italian government ENEA Agriculture Research Lab, who have created the Nutri 3D project.
In a world where arable land is shrinking and climate change forces us to rethink food production, the goal is to keep making what we are used to eating.
The process takes plant cells but removes the need for soil and the unpredictable elements like climate and produces consistent high-value food substitutes, which could be critical as nature gets more unpredictable. The potential for 3D printed food is huge, and it could make space travel easier if food can be generated fresh from ingredients that are easy to transport. Ermannao Petricca is a director of ELThub, who have partnered with the lab, and he says that the quality and nutrition levels are a significant benefit.
This is fruit for astronauts. We clearly cannot take fresh fruit on board, but through a 3D printer of this type, they can feed themselves with the nutritional properties of fresh fruit. Staying on Earth, we could certainly think of all those people who have dietary difficulties and for whom eating fruit is not so easy. Here, under the appetizing and appealing guise of a chocolate, it is actually possible to introduce all the nutritional properties found in fruit.
And if you're worried about all these 3D printed snacks driving your kids crazy, there's more good news. New research suggests that kids are not necessarily made hyperactive by sugary snacks. Australian researcher Dr. Gideon Meyerowitz-Katz specialises in diabetes self-management application and chronic disease management. He's also creator of the Health Nerd blog, and he says the sugar myth is something parents don't need to be too worried about.
We have known since the 90s that if you give children sugar, or if you give them artificially sweetened candy, or if you give them nothing at all, it makes no difference to their levels of hyperactivity. Every parent I know is surprised when they hear that. The reason why people think that their children are hyperactive after they get sugar is because they expect it to be true, and so when they see hyperactivity, they ascribe it to the sugar, even though it probably isn't caused by the sugar.
We've covered some exciting breakthroughs in technology designed to help improve our sight over the last few weeks, including a new Israeli trial which has seen 3D printing of corneas, which have helped to tackle rare eye conditions. Elon Musk's brain chip company Neuralink are hard at work focused on curing blindness with the potential development of a bionic eye. A former Neuralink executive, Max Hodak, has developed a chip-based system too called Prima, which has already been trialled by Stanford University and could be available in 2026. Musk spoke recently about how the Neuralink visual system will work.
Our next product is Blind Sight, which will enable those who have total loss of vision, including if they've lost their eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never seen, but even blind from birth, to be able to see again. Initially low resolution, but ultimately very high resolution, and then in multiple wavelengths. So you could be like Geordi LaForge in Star Trek, and you can see in radar, you can see in infrared, ultraviolet, superhuman capabilities.
There was good news this week for the deaf and the hard of hearing, as a company called X-Ray Glass have come up with a brilliantly simple idea of creating glasses which automatically provide subtitles on the lenses. They use real-time AI-generated captions, and it could be a game changer, according to Jack Bloomfield, the head of marketing by X-Ray Glass.
For those who are deaf, hard of hearing, or perhaps struggle to engage with the conversations around them, they can simply put on a pair of smart glasses and immediately see the words being said around them.
He says the company's founder, Dan Scarf, was inspired by his grandfather's hearing challenges.
So despite owning some of the world's best hearing aids, he was still struggling to engage with the conversations around him. It wasn't until that evening that he put captions on the TV and everyone saw that he was instantly engaged, and that's very much where the light bulb moment came from.
Still to come on the Sunday 7, in association with Metro, we head to the Philippines for a spooky update on why actors are revolting against AI.
Right after this.
Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of the Smart 7 is brought to you by Sainsbury's, where you can save big on festive favourites with nectar prices. With Christmas just around the corner, it's more important than ever to find value for money on your festive shop. And if you want to be the host or hostess with the mostess, you need Christmas magic from Sainsbury's. That means great discounts to make your festive season truly magical. For example, this week you can get 3 for 2 on all Sainsbury's party food with nectar prices, including taste the difference treats like 8 mini Wagyu beef cheeseburgers, 8 crispy chicken bayo buns, or 12 crispy mushroom tartlets. You can shop in-store or online and save big on festive favourites this Christmas with nectar prices at Sainsbury's. That's good food for all of us. This offer's for 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of December, 3 for 2 on all Sainsbury's party food, cheapest product free. Nectar required, available in-store and online, excluding locals. Delivery fees may apply and subject to availability.
And now, a next-level moment from AT&T Business. Say you've sent out a gigantic shipment of pillows, and they need to be there in time for International Sleep Day. You've got AT&T 5G, so you're fully confident. But the vendor isn't responding, and International Sleep Day is tomorrow. Luckily, AT&T 5G lets you deal with any issues with ease, so the pillows will get delivered and everyone can sleep soundly, especially you. AT&T 5G requires a compatible plan and device. Coverage not available everywhere. Learn more at att.com/5G network.
Welcome back.
It's been 50 years since the movie The Exorcist first hit our screens, presenting a dramatic and terrifying picture of demonic possession. You might think that's something you only find in movies, but bizarrely there are reports from across the world of an uptick in demand for exorcisms. The US has been seeing a surge in requests for exorcisms over the last 15 years, and since the very first US seminar on exorcism took place in Baltimore back in 2010. There are estimated to be over 100 exorcists now at work in the United States, and it's not just a US issue. This week, an investigation into exorcisms in the Philippines produced some alarming results. It's estimated that 99% of those who present with what they or their families believe to be demonic possession are suffering from mental illness, but even seasoned exorcists report some events that they struggle to explain. Father Jose Francisco Suquia is the director of the Archdiocese of Manila's Office on Exorcism, and he told Al Jazeera that he could have as many as 10 cases a day.
I became an exorcist 23 years ago. I never thought that I would see many possession cases.
Vomiting all these objects, nails, stones, cockroaches that were alive. Usually 75% of our cases are women, 25% are male, and majority of them are teenagers, a number of children, yeah.
The speed at which AI is developing and its impact on creativity and original content has been one of the hot topics of 2025. Last week, we reported that Disney has signed a deal with OpenAI, which will see them take on an equity stake in the tech company and license Disney characters for use in OpenAI content. But that's not the route everyone is taking, and there's been strong pushback from creators on AI and the threat it poses to their creativity and to their copyright. Frankenstein director Guillermo del Toro memorably shouted "Feck AI" or something similar at the recent Gotham Movie Awards, and he spoke to the Consequence podcast about his view on AI in more detail.
If a society ends up making songs written by AI thrive, then that society without a doubt deserves songs written by AI. I don't think that will happen. You listen to Paul McCartney and John Lennon and you know John Lennon lost his mother, meaning this music doesn't come without the life and the biography and the struggles.
This week also saw actors raise their voices against AI with a new organisation called the Creative Coalition on AI, which has an A-list membership and is determined to have a seat at the table when it comes to protecting creative rights. Actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt is one of the founders.
We're all, frankly, facing the same threat, not from generative AI as a technology, but from the unethical business practices a lot of the big AI companies are guilty of.
And in the UK, Actors Union Equity has also joined the fight, announcing that their members would be refusing requests to allow digital scanning of them on set until there is much more clarity on what the purpose of it is and what rights they have in their image, likeness and work. Paul F. Fleming is the General Secretary of Equity in the UK.
AI is a generation-defining challenge, which Equity members are prepared to meet with generation-defining industrial action. Not in my lifetime has Equity felt compelled to begin the process to obtain a mandate for industrial action in this sector. And industrial action is not an inevitability. It is a choice to be made by the producers.
We've seen some giant leaps in robotics this year, partly driven by AI, which has provided the mechanical element of the robots with a simulation of intelligence and the ability to adapt to circumstances more quickly. From Elon's Optimus robots, which appeared to be operated remotely by high-tech puppeteers, to the hilarious fail of Russia's robot, which literally fell on its face, we've seen a wide range of technical development. Last week saw hundreds of aspiring robot manufacturers gather for a Silicon Valley event called the Humanoid Summit. Modar Aluri is an American venture capitalist and entrepreneur and the founder of the Humanoid Summit, and he says it's an exciting time.
The combination of AI and robotics has given robotics a brand new life, a brand new set of use cases that have never been possible before. Humanoids are here to stay. Embodied AI in general is gonna be here to stay. Robotics will change every single industry as we know it.
This has been the Sunday 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the regular Smart 7. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.
Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of the Smart 7 is brought to you by Sainsbury's, where you can save big on festive favourites with nectar prices. With Christmas just around the corner, it's more important than ever to find value for money on your festive shop. And if you want to be the host or hostess with the mostess, you need Christmas magic from Sainsbury's. That means great discounts to make your festive season truly magical. For example, this week you can get 3 for 2 on all Sainsbury's party food with nectar prices, including taste the difference treats like 8 mini Wagyu beef cheeseburgers, 8 crispy chicken bayo buns, or 12 crispy mushroom tartlets. You can shop in-store or online and save big on festive favourites this Christmas with nectar prices at Sainsbury's. That's good food for all of us. This offer's for 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of December, 3 for 2 on all Sainsbury's party food, cheapest product free. Nectar required, available in-store and online, excluding locals. Delivery fees may apply and subject to availability.
Take control of the numbers and supercharge your small business with Xero. That's Xero. With our easy-to-use accounting software with automation and reporting features, you'll spend less time on manual tasks and more time understanding how your business is doing. 87% of surveyed U.S. customers agree Xero helps improve financial visibility. Search Xero with an X or visit Xero.com/ACAST to start your 30-day free trial. Conditions apply.